His life. Place we get the sight, sound, smells, taste, and particularly Red is life, and we get the truth. Okay, so I've been absent since I got back, basically, except for when Scott Adams died, because, like Troy, my partner in crime here, and I were talking about, I've had like that airplane flu for like 10 days. And I eventually had to go get antibiotics for it because my doctor told me, you're kind of immunocompromised, so you better take these.
Yeah.
And
good idea to go do that. Yeah.
And Troy's partner is going through the same thing.
Yeah, same exact thing. So yeah, this cold season and flu season has been much better than last one, but still, like she gets a bug, she goes down. I get a bug 3 days later. I'm like, I'm not too bad,
Right.
But yeah.
I'm not the type to stay in bed. I get up and work anyway, and still try to work it out of my system. But
well, yeah, yesterday was my worst day, but I was still at my desk all day, pretty much. I did take one nap because I couldn't handle it anymore. Yeah, because as long as I didn't stand up to go get anything or do anything, I was fine. But as soon as you stand up, you're like, whoa, okay, maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was.
Yeah. I mean,
this sucks.
This is what you do when you get to be a certain age. You complain about your ailments.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure everyone's fascinated.
Yes, everybody's fascinated. But we have the big snow coming in, and I'm planning on skiing next week. So.
Oh yeah.
Look for a rider's license from the mountains.
We have no snow.
That's what I heard. I heard even Montana doesn't have a lot of snow.
Yeah, our elevation, basically the elevation for snow has just been way too high. So the basins in Idaho right now that are above 8,000 feet are good. And anything below that, it's been hitting with rain pretty hard, except for there's a couple resorts in North Idaho that are doing okay. Utah is hurting for snow too. Yeah. Utah and Washington, and California is all right. Truckee and Tahoe got hammered for a little while. But
what about Sun Valley?
But Sun Valley right now is a mess. It's a mess. Baldy is the common, and the lower areas are. Right. I mean, if you get up in hella ski or cat ski, you're all right. But lower elevations, nope, not great right now. Not great.
My friend, the cop, is supposed to ski Big Sky in a couple weeks.
Oh man, I hope there's snow.
Big snow. I know.
Yeah, I love that place. That's one of my favorite places. But man, yeah, it's
I know I'm jealous.
It's just a sparse year. Yeah. Sparse year. So.
I am going up to the Canadian border, Vermont Canadian border, to ski. Not next weekend, but the weekend after.
Oh wow!
So that should be a nice drive, 4-hour drive.
Yeah, but, I love. 4-hour drive's nothing. I love going to Red Mountain.
For you, like direct. 4-hour drive is like going to the grocery store.
Yeah, it's just like that's what we do out west. I told a friend of mine that he's from New York too, and he was in Seattle for a book signing. I'm like, I'll just pop over and see. It's only a 5-hour drive. He goes, 5-hour drive. That's Wild West talk there.
I know.
I go, shoot, man, you sit in traffic that much in New York in a cab.
Right. We consider like anything over 4 hours. It's like, well, maybe I should take a plane.
Just take a plane or spend the night. I'm like, my buddy and I, so quick aside, not related to anything we're going to talk to today. Well, my buddy and I wrote a book on Star Trek called The Tao of Trek. And so we went to a lot of fan conventions. So the first year that we had it, we ordered 500 copies, signed them all in my living room, loaded them in his Prius, and drove from here to Phoenix. So two big guys, he's as big as I am, so two big guys, bigger than I am. So two big guys in a Prius with 500 books headed down to Fan Fusion in Phoenix. And that year there were 20,000 people at that conference. And the next year there were 30. It's an insane thing. If you ever go down there, it is out of your mind crazy.
That book
but anyway,
really
17 hours. It did pretty well. That book doesn't do as well now, but we haven't done a lot of promotion with it. We initially went to conferences and stuff like that, but the issue with it now is we really need to update it with some of the new Star Trek that's out. We have not done that. So yeah.
Are you going to include the woke Star Trek stuff?
Well, Yeah, because
Technically speaking, it exists, so you have to comment on it.
Well, and technically speaking, so here's the thing about is the book is about the philosophy of Star Trek, not about Star Trek. We can't. There's certain things we can't do. We can't summarize episodes. We can't because of the copyright issues. So there's things we can't do as part of the book.
Right.
So part of it is, and the other thing is we have to address things as objectively as we can.
Right.
Because we can't disparage. If we disparage Star Trek, then Paramount and Viacom will come knocking on our door and tell us how much they appreciate us by sicking their attorneys on us.
Big attorney.
And they have a lot of attorneys, and we do not. So we had to be really careful with the way we put the book. So I want to include it, but I want to include it on a philosophical front rather than a this sucks or whatever type of front, but just like, what is the philosophy of Star Trek and the way Star Trek is run now, especially. And it's really the thing is, it was always one guy's vision, Gene Roddenberry's vision. And then when he left, there was kind of a intermediate period where there wasn't really a supervisionary. Now is Alex Kurtzman and those guys are taking it their direction. So it's always been centered around one guy and kind of their philosophy and what they think it should look like and what they want to do. So whether we like that or not, really some of the other things, there's some other things that I do like about the new stuff, but it also doesn't adhere to canon 100%. There's all kinds of wacky, Trekkie type stuff that to most ordinary people who are watching it now, who never watched the older Star Trek and just watching it now, are like, they don't care about any of that. But the old guys that have been around, that watch the original series, were like, okay, there's some key differences here, and they're messing with some timelines and, stuff like that. So we have to just kind of either we swallow that and say, we'll just watch it for the sake of what it is, or we just say, I ain't watching that. So I haven't seen the new Starfleet Academy, but I've heard mixed reviews, so it's next on my list to check it out.
But anyway, I gotta grab something.
Vince is taking it aside, everybody.
I need a shot of Dayquil.
Oh, yeah. I don't blame you.
If there are any kids in the audience, do not take your medicine this way.
Yeah, don't. You're supposed to measure and all that stuff.
Yeah, you're supposed to measure it. And do not add vodka to it like I do.
Yeah, don't do that. That's not good.
That's not good.
Don't do that.
Not a good thing. Actually, when you said copyright, that's the perfect segue into what we're about to talk about. Because I'm going to let you explain what's going on, because I've been getting these emails and just sort of ignoring them, and then I educated myself to this over the course of the past 2 hours, and even wrote 5 paragraphs about it on Substack, which I haven't. Which will go with this video. So Troy, take it away.
Yeah, I barely knew about that this was something that was coming, and then it really popped up on the radar in the last few days. So I think what has happened was, I think Amazon kind of introduced it quietly, but it's become widespread enough that people are noticing. And what it's called Ask About This Book, and it's essentially an AI feature that's been added to the Kindle app on iOS for right now. So on Apple phones, the Kindle app, they say they're going to roll it out other places, but we'll see what happens. And the reason we'll see what happens is authors are ticked, and understandably so. Because what it is, it's an AI feature that basically you can ask questions about the book from within the book, from your Kindle app. But it's an AI feature. So AI is scanning those books and then providing answers to readers. Now, you as an author can't influence what those answers are. You can't change what those answers are. And supposedly you can't opt out. Although Stacy and I have a theory, it's just not proven. Yeah, I don't have enough data yet to prove it. But I have a feeling that the way they changed DRM, opting into digital rights management, may impact whether or not that AI can access your book, at least for now. But I foresee a change in the Amazon terms and conditions relatively soon that'll negate that, is what I suspect. But none of this do we know yet, but we just know it's showing up in books. And the reason it's such a big deal, first of all, they didn't ask us to do it. So it's our copyrighted material. This is very similar to what Anthropic did. And with that whole lawsuit is they basically added this AI feature and is allowing AI to scan our books without our permission, right? So the number one thing is permission of who created the work and who has the authority to say how it's managed. Well, that's us as authors. That's why we copyright our material. That's why we do all the yada yada things that we do when we publish. Same as publishers do, is so we have that control. And Amazon's just taking away that control. And what concerns me about that is if we let them do this, it's like you give them an inch, they take a mile, right? Then what is their next move? And I don't think it's anything any of us want. But the second aspect of it is it changes the way you interact with a book. So as a fiction author, I'm not overly concerned because I've always said if you write a good enough story, nobody's popping out of your story to ask Google a question or anything like that. They're immersed in your story. They're happy with it, all that kind of stuff. So they're not jumping out of it to AI or whatever. But for nonfiction, the concern is they pop out, they ask a question, and AI doesn't tell them what page that reference is on or whatever. It tries to draw meaning itself, which means it could change the meaning of your book and take a small part of it out of context and create an answer for the reader that's not accurate based on your work. So it changes it actually changes the work itself, which they're not allowed to do. That's a violation of copyright. It should be illegal. So, it's just been done so quietly and without our permission that when it starts showing up on the mainstream, like the Authors Guild is all over this. There's all kinds of author organizations that are all over, basically trying to stop Amazon from continuing to do this and get them to take it away. And I don't think readers are going to love it. I think some readers are going to like it, but I don't think readers are going to love this necessarily. I don't think it's that kind of a good change. But I think it's one of those where they're testing the waters to see how much they can get away with authors. And if we don't resist this, then what are they going to do next? That we're going to just go, oh, well, it's Amazon. That's where I make a lot of my money. And we're just going to let them do whatever they want. So,
I mean, maybe their argument's going to be like, well, we're not doing anything that a college professor doesn't do when he interprets a book or something like that, but I don't know.
True.
Unless they come in, and maybe they'll come out with maybe they'll even use a First Amendment argument, which Hal has his, the AI the First Amendment can pertain to artificial intelligence suddenly, which I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the other part of it is
Supreme Court. I can see it.
It's going to be in courts just like the Anthropic thing was. And I think the biggest thing is if Amazon had put a button where you could opt out as an author or a publisher and say, no, you can't do this with my book, but they asked permission, that it would be a completely different argument.
Completely.
But doing it without permission and just doing it as part of the features of Kindle without consulting the authors, I think is where the violation of copyright starts to happen. That's where the litigious things are going to happen. I think that's why they only rolled it out to Kindle app on iOS, because a lot of people read their books on devices, Kindles, whatever, not necessarily on their phone. So they rolled it out to a smaller percentage of people.
Right.
I haven't seen it. So
I have an Android.
Well, yeah, you're an Android guy. And for reference, Stacy and I did an emergency podcast last night. And so it's going to be up sometime today. And that we show some screenshots of what it actually looks like.
Oh, good, because I can't wait to see it.
thing, but it's kind of disturbing because it's just little AI icon, and you click on it and it has suggested questions. Now, supposedly it won't do spoilers, so it won't go past the page where you've already read when it's searching for answers. So you can't say, how does this book end, or what's the twist later in this book, and have an answer. So at least there's that. But it's kind of creepy. It's not exactly, it's pretty weird stuff. So anyway, that's what's happening with that. And what will happen with that, what I'm imagining, is that there will be another class action or more than one class action to try to stop this.
Oh, for sure.
If it's been put in your books, you will get. But like I checked most of your books last night, it's not in there. It's not in most of mine. So this is what makes me suspect. First of all, it says it's available in thousands of best-selling books. So I think they're just putting it in some select books right now, seeing what they can get away with. Because when I was looking at my Kindle library, I saw some that were traditionally published books, some that were self-published. That didn't seem to be the line. And it didn't seem to be a sales line, because some of the books were popular, some were not that popular. So it doesn't seem to be necessarily sales related. So that's why Stacy and I are wondering if it's DRM related, but I can't tell because I don't know. Like, was that DRM enabled on that book? I don't know. I don't know who published it. I don't know if the author did it. What happened, or what their deal is with Amazon. So could be a traditional publisher deal or whatever. So there's a lot we don't know, but I think we're going to find out over the next few weeks. Again, I think this is going to be one of those things that's it's just going to go from something small to something big. And I think Amazon made a mistake by doing it this way, but
ironically, because I was with Thomas and Mercer, just before we came on, I got an email from them saying like, oh, if you want to jump onto the Anthropic suit, we have like a form letter, you can fill out, and we'll help you with it. Because the 11 books that I have included were almost all my Thomas and Mercer books. Right down the line.
Well, and a lot of that because we're finding out that publishers like Down and Out and some of the smaller presses I was with never registered copyright. Which is one of the requirements, is you have to have legally registered copyright. Your publisher is supposed to do that for you. A lot of publishers have now put it in as an option in their publishing contract instead of as a thing that they actually do. So there's a lot of Harlequin romance authors that are really, really ticked off right now. Because their books were in the master list, but the copyright was never filed properly, so they're not getting paid for them. So... so there's another class action group that's rejecting the Anthropic settlement and trying to create a larger class and make them pay more money. So we'll see where that goes as well. But you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of stuff going on with AI that's like, and most of it has to do with how AI was trained and how it's being used, but there's a lot going on with that's it's frustrating on the creator side, but in some ways, like if you pay attention to all of that every day, it's like paying attention to all the news every day. All you're going to do is live in this stress ball of a life where you can't really, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, and it doesn't even matter which side of the argument you're on. It's just stress. That's like, it's just not even worth it. It's like, because a lot of it's just, a lot of the news stuff and even the stuff the administration's doing, that other people are doing, is just wagging the dog. You're just distracting from what their actual mission is and what they're actually doing in the background. It's a technique that's been used for years. If you've been a journalist for more than 10 minutes, you know all about it. And you know what I mean? And so it just creates this stress because you're constantly following this ball that's bouncing everywhere, and that ball does not matter. It's like, so there's some of this AI stuff that I think matters, and we need to be involved in. And if the Authors Guild sends out a petition, I'm signing it. If NINC sends out something, I'm signing it. But at the same time, we just got to watch like what we're doing. But what is interesting to me is that authors that are 100% non-AI, like I don't want AI to touch anything, Well, unless you pull all your books from Amazon right now,
Yep.
you're gonna be participating until a lawsuit stops this. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
your
Yeah.
your choice is to pull everything from Amazon and say, I'm not going to do anything with Amazon at all because they're
Right.
the way they're using AI. And
Yep.
you're going to hit a huge chunk of your income, and it's hardly going to affect Amazon at all. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if there were enough authors that did it, it would make a difference, but it would take thousands of people doing it, you know?
Right. I don't know if you saw
So,
Harvey Stanborough's Substack, but he said he's pulling his books. You know, like unless they change it soon, he has like 138 books and stories. He said he's going to pull them all. He's like, I don't care about the money. You know, like I'm not into this for the money. I'm into this for the story, which is noble, I have to say. You know, and
well, yeah.
but
And I mean,
if he's doing it though, there's going to be more.
right, and I would like to do it. I mean, in a lot of ways, because it's one of those things I would like to do anyway. But what it means retraining readers. Like
Right.
you need to go and buy direct from the author or buy from retailers that are not doing this. So buy from Apple, buy from Google, because that's the other thing is if Amazon gets away with this, Apple and Google will come out with their own systems to do the exact same thing.
Of course.
Right. So because they're all using the same background AI, they're all using the same thing. So first of all, we have to try to stop it at Amazon before it can go anywhere else to any other companies doing the exact same thing. But in the meantime, I mean, that's the big thing is training readers and saying, the reason we ask you to go direct and buy direct from our sites, the reason we ask you to do those things is because of this. These guys control our income. They control our lives to a certain extent. And, if we pull all of our books from Amazon and we take a huge hit in income because that's where you're going to buy all your books.
Right.
So, it means readers also not buying books on Amazon. So
that ain't happening anytime soon, though.
That's harder to mobilize. Well, at least, especially in the United States. Other countries around the world, Kobo and all that stuff is bigger, but United States, Amazon is the great God at which we all worship and pay our Prime membership and, all that kind of stuff. And I mean, guilty as charged. I like getting things overnight when I need to order them. I like them showing up the next day. It's convenient.
I think,
but,
Amazon, my sweater at Amazon, my books, just this computer. Just this.
Well, yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine about it. I'm like, you remember when we were? I'm sure you remember this too.
The phone on Amazon.
Oh yeah, I mean, your granddad would go down to the hardware store and order something and wait till the next day to finish his project. Right? I mean, that's the way we did things.
I lost my gas. I drove off yesterday in my Jeep without putting the gas cap back on. Shit. And I was like, well, what's the first thought that came in my head? I'll just
Amazon.
order it on Amazon.
Order on Amazon. I'll have a new one tomorrow.
But I didn't. My mechanic is my buddy, and I called him, and he ordered it the normal way. And
got it hooked up for you.
Took a few hours, and I went over just now. I just went over and bought it. But damn. This kind of brings me to a quick other topic. Everybody who's going to watch this, I have a new website. I left You and I, which is more for other small businesses rather than writers and novelists. But I went to Tertulia, and I'm not being paid to say this, so and the jury's out on it because I just did this. But man, it just amazed me because they it's like $8 a month, like the basic, the basic tier, and they just say, their claim is just add an ISBN, and Tertulia will, boom, take care of everything else. Your website will magically appear. And I kept seeing these ads, and I kept thinking, well, for sure, what they mean is all you have to do is add your ISBN for every single book or story that you have. And it will bring up all the information, which I still thought was like a huge time saver, as opposed to like me like having to cut and paste and having to write, get all the URLs for the stores and all this. I take one book and I typed the ISBN in it, and my entire catalog. Boom! The website is done in 2 minutes. Even my bio, everything. It's all done. I mean, I have to tweak it and all this sort of shit. But
well, yeah, of course. But yeah.
And then it's like you can add all your subscribers, your Substack subscribers, and Tertulia is attached to a bookstore, and they run promos and they do all this shit, and I'm like, this is fucking great, man. I mean, I love it already. Yeah. I haven't started, and it's like a third of the price that I was paying at UNI. I'm like, I can't believe this. So obviously, there's must be some sort of AI involved in it.
For sure. Well, but this brings up, like, AI is good at some things. There's some things I want AI to do. Like, I have a friend of mine who has built this thing that's called Story OS, and it runs your entire author business. It's expensive. It's an expensive program, but it's built with AI, and then was basically built with this coding program that used AI to help build the actual app. But it manages your entire business, your finances, your ads, all your titles, all the links for all your titles, everything in one place. Man, if you combine that with that website building, because building websites has become so easy, because it used to be you did what you see is what you get builder, WYSIWYG builder, move WordPress blocks around and stuff, which I still like. That's neat. I get a lot of control, by doing that. But now you can, once I create a page, I can tell the AI that's within my WordPress thing, I want you to duplicate that page, make another one that looks like it, but with these changes. And I have to tweak it a little, but like 10 seconds later, it's done.
Yeah.
Like, it's done. So I want AI to do those things and speed up the business side of my work so that I can write more and play around more. I love AI video generation and how awesome it's gotten, because I can literally make some stellar video trailers, and you can actually make some stellar movies. There's a whole Reddit subthread that's all about AI movies, and it's great, because these guys are professionally taking AI. Now, to get a professional level movie, you still have to know what you're doing, but it's so much faster than doing it, going and getting a film crew and getting locations and doing all of it. So much faster and cheaper.
You mean know what
still costs you money.
You have to know what you're doing in terms of prompting it?
Well, yes, because you still have to know how to write a script, right? A screenplay. And you have to write the screenplay for AI rather than for a director, right? Because you have to give it some direction that normally you wouldn't do that direction in a screenplay, because that's what the director and producer do. You would give them the hints, they fill in the rest. You have to fill in the rest. Like, you have to, make it work. But if you just feed a novel into it, it doesn't know what to do with that. She looked at him longingly, and AI goes, what the hell is longingly? And doesn't know how to make that connection. But if you break it out into screenplay format, it does absolutely amazing things. But you have to know how to tweak it and how to prompt it, and what models to use for what part or whatever. So it's still an industry, but it's an industry where and obviously it costs you for the AI tokens and all that kind of stuff. But it's an industry where instead of spending $150,000 to make a film, you can make it for $10,000 easy.
Right.
Sometimes less than that, and your time, but you can have somebody else make it for you for under 10 grand, a lot of times. So anyway, super interesting stuff that I love AI for. The problem is, I'm like, it's just like any other tool. It's being used for good and bad. So we have these stupid Amazon putting stuff in our books without asking us, at the same time that we have so much potential for doing so many great things with AI that aren't that. I mean, like, leave us alone. It's not that we're not going to use your AI products. It's we're going to use them differently. I want the AI to make a robot to clean my house so I can write more.
Right.
I don't want it to write for me.
Right.
That's not the point. Anyway.
And it can't write for you anyway, so.
No, it sucks at it. But that does bring us to Kickstarter. Really quick point about Kickstarter.
Yes,
so obviously one of the ways to buy direct from authors is support them when they have Kickstarter projects. And we have another Kickstarter project coming.
The newest bookstore on the planet, and the only place where you can get limited editions, limited signed editions, hardcovers, merch,
hardcovers, merchandise. Yeah, and get Kickstarter only covers and stuff like that. I mean, and so that's what we're doing again with True Romance. You've done a few since we did True Pulp last year. Oh yeah, beautiful. I'm glad my book is somewhere over on my shelf. But yeah,
lots of great stories here, by the way.
The next one, True Romance, and True Romance. Like we have a couple of stories in there by relatively new authors that are freaking stellar. Like, I mean, we have some great stories in there from, the old greats, Vince and I, and, all the Joel, J.E. Fishman, and Larry
Coleman,
Reed Coleman, Paul Brazil, all those guys. But we've got a couple new authors too, like this one, like this time, that are stellar. So I mean, we're super excited about that. Launches February 1st. There's a thing on Kickstarter, so you can you probably got your link, so you can drop it in the things below that, so people can go follow it before the project launches, all that kind of stuff.
You'll see it below.
There's going to be some cool stuff in that. And really, that's more exciting. We're making some cool video trailers with that. For that too, by the way. I'm working on the last of one right now, and it's awesome. It's a pretty awesome little thing.
I have to tell you, Kickstarter's become like a really good income source for me.
Yeah,
I've done aside from the couple I've done with you, I've done like 4 of them now, I think. Mm-hmm. And they've all been successful. Humble Kickstarters, like they start at $200, and then you're funded. And they usually go up to anywhere. I think the most I made was like around $750 or something like that. And the last one just did about $600. But that's like more than I was making with my one little freelance nonfiction job. And it does. I've gotten used to writing these now, and preparing them. And I'm going to be doing one for The Remains, which was my 100,000s of books sold and all that. So and for the first time ever, I'll be doing a hardcover for that. And I expect that will do very well. I'll be doing it for like the end of February, March 1st kind of thing. But because I don't want to trample on our thing, but.
Oh yeah,
but it really is a new bookstore, and you don't need a whole bunch of followers or supporters. And I notice, like, every time I do one, like a couple new people come into it, and
yeah, exactly.
And if you have a super fan or two, doesn't matter how much you're asking for, like the main tier, boom,
they're there.
Do it. Yeah.
Yeah, Kickstarter has become a really great, because it's not always the same audience as your ebook fans or your paperback fans even. These are people who are looking for something exclusive, something special. These are fans that become fans of you, but a lot of times they become fans of the little things that you give them, just the merchandise or the special edition books or whatever. And like on the customer side, on the reader side, man, you can get some cool stuff that is super unique. Like, I mean, those people that got our unique Kickstarters with the signature cards, which we're going to do the signature cards again this time for True Pulp. Like there's like 4 of those in the world. You got one of them. I mean, that's pretty awesome. Someday when Vince and I are, gone, then, those will be worth a fortune. You know,
Yeah.
sell it on eBay. Will we? You know what I mean? Whatever. But you know, those special editions are something unique, and I mean, there's so few of them in the world. It's pretty amazing. So
Howard,
yeah.
we're not going to be able to make the rent this month. Should we sell the Troy card or the Vince card? Troy, Vince, Troy, Vince.
Troy, Vince.
Sell the Troy card. I didn't like that
Sell
one.
the Troy card. I didn't like him anyway. He was no good. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So,
you know, it would be wonderful if Kickstarter just explodes for authors, you know, or maybe not, you know, like but I do get this feeling we're kind of on, unlike video games like my sons are doing. I feel like as authors, we're kind of on the bottom floor of like.
Well, and more authors though are having success with Kickstarter, especially ones that are writing, you know, romance, which is always one of the top genres, but are writing things like fantasy and sci-fi where they can do, you know, super fancy covers and things like that. But I think it's been really interesting to watch like noir and mystery and stuff like that fund on these Kickstarters, because there's fans that are going that just want something different. Like they're looking in this world of AI, they're looking for something genuine. And so the more genuine you are, and as I keep repeating to people when they're like, how do you even survive in this AI age? I'm like, be a person, be human. That's the thing AI can't do. Be a person. And, you know, the more you do that, the better off you'll be anyway. But that's, people are looking for that in Kickstarter. They're looking for something that's unique and human, backing the human and the person behind it, and the people behind it. And so, and,
you know, it's funny because Love Like a Loaded Gun was my most recent Kickstarter, and this is the mass market version. I have also a Kickstarter, you know, exclusive version. I don't have a copy of that yet, but I had contracted that book. I have the contract in my email, and the publisher and I weren't getting along, so I pulled it. And I'm like, Bear Media, my Bear Media will do it. And I had the Kickstarter going within 2 weeks, and I made $600. Like, boom. Like, whereas
you got paid right away.
Right. It was a micro press. He was offering one of those like no payment up front deals or whatever. But so I'm like, okay, boom. What a great financial move that was.
Right.
You know,
exactly. Well, and that's the thing. Like, we're doing this Kickstarter with Alibi Syndicate Press, but it's not going to be the only one. Like, we're going to do Kickstarters with anthologies and books as a publisher, because I don't know why publishers are leaving that money on the table.
Right. Explain to our readers, or I mean our listeners, what Alibi Syndicate Press is, and it is now open, by the way, everybody.
Yeah, it is now open, and we are, so actually, Stacy, I just talked to an intern, so we're probably going to have some open submissions in the fall, because we'll actually have an intern who can help us read all the thousands of submissions you guys are going to send to us for the 20 books that we're going to publish every year. But anyway, but anyway,
still going to get flooded.
Yeah, I mean, we're a micro press for now, because we're starting small intentionally, because so Stacy Smakovsky, myself, and Vince decided, let's just start a press because we don't have enough else to do. None of us are busy.
Yep.
So we're like, what the heck? Why not? But anyway, it's a small noir mystery thriller horror press. That's the only genres we're looking for. That is all. And it's not because we don't love the rest of you. It's because you have to pick something, pick a lane, right? We have a marketing gal who's just amazing. We have, and then because of what Stacy and I do anyway, we have an editing team, we have a book cover artist team, we have a formatting team, because we already have these people. They already work for us to do other stuff. So we're just giving them some more work to do. So anyway, but yeah, small noir press. We're starting out with this Kickstarter, immediately following with one of Vince's books, and we've got a few other books that we've got lined up. And then we'll be opening up for submissions at some point this year for more open submissions. You do not have to have an agent to submit to us. Nobody else needs a piece of your pie. And primarily what we're trying to do is work with authors who want to use this the way Vince and I use publishers is as a part of your overall author career.
Right.
We don't want to take your whole catalog and your whole series. We want to
No.
take a book here and there that you give to us for a reason, right?
Yep.
That there's a reason that you feel like we could leverage it for rewards or awards or for, you know, exposure in various different areas or whatever, maybe creating an audiobook, helping you with a Kickstarter, doing that type of stuff. So we're not looking for just anyone. So I've already had people approach me that I have just had to say no, you know, that I'm sorry, it's not quite a fit for us because of where we are right now and what we're trying to do.
I know.
But we don't want to say no. We want to see your great stuff. We want to be able to say yes to it too. So
yeah, this is not 20th century publishing. You know, print the book, throw it up against the wall, see if it sticks.
No,
this is not.
No. We have a marketing plan with every single book, and so our rule is, it's not only if you have a good story or not. It's if we think we can market your book effectively. Like, I'm not going to take on a book that I don't think I can market effectively, because otherwise, what's the point? You might as well do it yourself, or you might as well go with some other traditional publisher, because our point is that we want to enhance your author career and also help you. So part of our thing is we offer a marketing course that's still in development to all of our authors. And our intent is, yes, we want you to go through that course because we want you to help us market your book to the world, right, that you put with us. But we want you to take those marketing techniques and use them for the rest of your books. Like, we want your
I'll
career.
be taking the course.
Yeah, we want your career apart from Alibi to be successful. So the difference is, we're not a publisher that's trying to grab up your rights to your series so that, oh, yeah, you got to give us all your Moonlight books, Vince, or you can't give us one. No, we're the opposite of that. Let's take this book, let's do something great with it. If you like what we've done with it, hey, we'll be happy to take more books from you. But also, we want to support your wide career as an indie author. If you have stuff with other publishers, we want to be supportive of the whole thing, because the more books of other books that you sell too, the more people see your book that you publish with us, the more money we make. It's just a smart thing for publishers to do. It's something publishers have not been doing, and I've long thought that they're just stupid for not doing it. I wish I could open a huge publisher and take on all kinds of books and hundreds of authors, but that would kill me. I don't have enough time in the day. I wouldn't sleep. I'd sleep way less than I already do, so it wouldn't be good. So anyway.
All right, brother, I love this. I can't wait to really start digging into Alibi Syndicate Press. Can't wait for the Kickstarter. So we have a big year ahead.
Yeah, we have a big year ahead.
And maybe there'll be a press release about it and all this sort of stuff. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Oh yeah,
that'll be up to our marketing lady.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, we got to get some traction. I mean, first of all, what we had to do was get open, you know, and get a few books under our belt, so we at least had some releases coming this year, and get kind of a system in place, and then we'll do more of a press release when we go a little more wide open and we're taking submissions and stuff. So, because I don't want to go wide with a press release and say, "Hey, everybody, welcome. It's Alibi Syndicate Press." No, not really. Not great optics there. So
I agree.
Anyway,
I agree. All right, brother. Good seeing you.
Yep.
And
you too.
Everybody, I'm glad I'm back, and we're gonna try to have Stacy very soon again, and starting around February 1st, I'll be having each author who is involved in true romance, and that will be exciting. That's probably going to go on for like a couple of months, including Troy again, and I'll interview myself.
Yeah, we should start doing that soon.
These days.
The Kickstarter runs for only a couple weeks in the first part of February.
Maybe I'll start emailing people now.
Yeah, I'll get you. Make sure you have all those emails and get started on that, because that'd be great. I'm going to be doing some author interviews this year. I might invite you in on this, Vince. Where I did a couple of these last year, putting them up on YouTube fairly soon, but they're really relatively long, pretty extensive interviews about authors, like really getting to know them, talking about their
This is
life, not just about their
this is the way
latest
to do
book
it.
or whatever,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I'm in
just,
on that. Sure.
yeah. I mean, let's talk about who authors really are. If you as readers want to get to know who your author is and get to know more about them, this is the way to do it.
Right.
And it creates some really, there were some touching moments in both those interviews that were unexpected. But
Yeah.
you start asking people questions, they start answering them. So
Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right.
good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, tears. You mean like tears and
Yeah, little tears and stuff like that, or a
yeah.
little where you go, oh, that's kind of
Don't don't
sad.
don't you dare cry on my podcast.
I won't. You
Yeah,
might.
you're not a crier, are you?
Um,
You're
it takes
tough.
a lot. It takes a lot
Yeah.
for me, actually. Fairly tough,
I can't
but I have
imagine
my
you crying.
soft side.
I can't imagine you
I'm
crying about anything, unless like when you're watching, Gone with the Wind. I can see you crying over
well, yeah, or Days of Our Lives when I'm watching my stories.
that. Yeah, Troy's crying again. Troy's like a baby, 6'4", 270-pound baby. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, I can say that because I'm 3,000 miles away.
Exactly.
Yeah. Come here, you fuck. Yeah. Come here, you little fuck. Yeah.
Get over here.
Yeah. All right. On that note,
All right.
we will be talking to you guys soon, and don't forget, ciao, ciao.